What do you think about when you hear about gorillas? Is it how big they are? How dominant they tend to be? Yet, in real life, the mountain gorilla is just that. They're huge animals that take pride in their lands, but at the same time, their lands have become smaller and smaller. According to the World Wildlife Foundation, as people have migrated up into the mountains, it has forced the gorillas to move higher and higher to much colder and more dangerous terrain. Unfortunately, this is why I'm talking about this majestic animal today. The mountain gorilla is a beautiful creature that is threatened by the migration of the human species, but with a hopeful future in sight. The mountain gorilla is basically the equivalent of a cousin to us humans. An article published by the World Wildlife Foundation, humans share approximately 98% of our DNA with gorillas. The WWF writes, this means that exposure to human illness, even a cold, can have potentially detrimental impacts on the gorillas. Gorillas are one of my favorite animals because of how they live their lives and how immensely strong they are. Their strength especially because they use it in ways to defend themselves, as well as to obtain food and build shelters. In a way, that is the same us humans use our strength. In this speech, I will go in more depth about the mountain gorilla. First, I will talk about the gorilla itself. Second, I will talk about their habitats. And third, how how humans have put them on the brink of extinction. First off, the gorilla is one of the most interesting animals in the world. The gorilla's lifespan is around 40 years. They are considered babies until they reach the age of 3, but then tend to mature much faster than us humans as they become full-grown adults at the age of 10. Like humans, gorillas live in families, but are not built the same as ours. The lone adult male, the silverback, mates with all the females in the group. They raise their young together, and once they become adults, they leave and go join other families. This prevents inbreeding and helps spread out the population of the mountain gorilla. How do they sustain their size and strength? Well, according to the WWF, they spend a quarter of their day eating. When many think the gorilla eats meat with those ferocious fangs of theirs, they tend to mainly eat plants, bark, and a bug or two. Now that you have some background knowledge on the gorilla, I will talk about how their environment affects their lifestyle. The mountain gorilla has lived in the mountains of Africa for thousands of years. They can be found in the mountains on the border of the Congo, and Rwanda. Although a small area, they have thrived here for thousands of years. The mountains in these areas can be quite dense, composed of a mixture of rainforest, bamboo, and even volcanic cliffs. This gives the gorilla a vast source of food, as well as protection from their natural predator, the leopard. With the elevation being so high, they have learned to adapt to their habitat. The environment is tough, consisting of harsh winds, cold temperatures, rain and snow, just to name a few. So in their adaptations, they have grown thicker and more hair than the usual gorilla that protects them from the weather they go through. Now you know about their habitat, we can talk about how humans are destroying it. Lastly, I'm going to talk about humans that put the mountain gorilla on the brink of extinction. Since the population of Africa is growing higher and higher, people needed to move to be able to obtain enough water and enough food to live. So people have migrated into the mountains. They began to cut down trees and other things so that they can move more easily. This has caused the mountain gorilla to move much higher into the mountains, being able so that they could live in harmony. This comes with a price though, since the higher you go, the colder it gets, causing many to die from the conditions and lack of nutrition. This has caused the population to drop to roughly around 1,000 gorillas left in the wild today. Some good news is that the countries that the gorillas live in have made national parks, stopping the migration of humans into the gorillas' native land and hopefully causing the population to rise back into the normal range. The mountain gorilla is an amazing animal, with lots of things to hold in their future. I first gave you some background knowledge on the mountain gorilla. Secondly, I talked about their natural habitat and how it affects the way they live. Lastly, we talked about how humans are the main cause of this beautiful animal's route to extinction. The mountain gorilla is an amazing animal. They have helped keep the overpopulation of plants in check and tend to keep to themselves. They are close relatives of ours. Therefore, we should help them survive.